En son kaldığımız yerden devam edeceğiz.
As the local vigilantes exposed him as the leader of the bandits
Sanırım 5. bölüm.
and put a generous price on his head.
Mermilerimizi alalım.
Plummer rallied his gang to plunder one last gold mine before making their escape. And that's where I thought I'd find him.
Biraz kasıyor olabilir, o yüzden de özür dilerim. Call of Juarez'i çekmeyeli uzun zaman oldu tabi. Onu da unuttum. Nasıl unuttum? Biraz paslanmış olabilirim. O yüzden iyi oynayamayabilirim.
It makes me nervous standing so close to all these goddamn barrels of gunpowder.
Burada biri var sanırım.
Why would you be nervous? No one has the cojones to come after us. As long as you don't light up a cigar, we're fine.
Besides, George is up there on the rocks with that rifle of his. Nothing gets past him.
My late father pointed out to me more than once. God made men. Samuel Colt made them equal.
Time to go!
Hemen şuraya patlasaydım da olurmuş yani. Değil de sen. Burada bir şey yok. Buradan. Geçen videoda Assassin's Creed'de sesin bastırmış videonun sesi. O yüzden onun için de özür dilerim ya. Kötü olmuş, onu ayarlamayı unuttum. Zaten introya da yapıştırmamışım. Saçma sapan bir şey yapmışım. Artık bunda da iyi gelir inşallah sesim. Nereye gideceğiz lan, unuttum ben. Buradan gideceğiz, boşuna yol açtım. Bunlar öldürüyor.
I knew that dynamite wasn't mine, so I decided the polite thing would be to return it. It was the biggest gold rush since Sutter's Mill in '48. Unfortunately, prospectors weren't the only ones drawn to those riches. There were thieves and killers, robbing travelers and hijacking gold shipments. Like those that ran with Plummer. Some were just regular folks I knew from town, drawn by greed and easy picking. Charlie Crow, the blacksmith. James, who worked in the stable. Sam and Jeremiah Barber, the butcher's sons. Ordinary citizens who lived a double life. Stealing and thieving and murdering their neighbors. Of course, the rest were veterans of the Civil War. Stone-cold killers trained on the bloody fields of Shiloh and Antietam. Plummer had a lot of men on his payroll. A hell of a lot. That son of a bitch pretended to protect the public with one hand while stealing them blind with the other. He set up a defensive perimeter which I had no idea how to breach. I was outnumbered and in way over my head, but I was too damn stubborn and stupid to realize it. They must have thought I was touched, or had some kind of death wish, seeing as there were barrels of gunpowder everywhere. I thought I was some kind of hero. I finally made it past and headed on to meet my destiny.
Unuttum ben bunu.
But first,
Herhalde
I
burada.
had something I needed to figure out. I had a few ideas on how to get into that mine, but once I made my decision, I knew there was no turning back. So my first thought was to enter the nearest mine portal.
Buraya mı?
I saw an entrance.
Evet.
Made sense. It was the quickest way in, but that also made it more dangerous, as there would undoubtedly be enemy pickets posted along the way.
Göreceğiz.
Can't hide forever!
Besides, once you enter a mine like that, it's easy to get all turned around. And that confusing maze of corridors wouldn't even be the worst of it. Some of those shafts could be as deep as hell.
Bunları öldürmek çok önemli.
A single stumble or misstep can easily end in a deadly plunge to oblivion.
I do not deserve this time!
Hiçbir şey yapmıyor.
Quick reflexes often make up for a lack of common sense. Luckily, I was never one to be easily bushwhacked. I would just need to be careful not to blow myself to kingdom come.
Buraya mı gideceğiz? Ne olur ne olmaz patlatalım.
With all that gunpowder and dynamite everywhere, a body has to know what he's shooting at.
Vurursa havaya uçarım bildiğimiz.
One wrong bullet could have turned that mine into a dad-blasted tomb.
Hayır.
I freely admit that my plan of attack was not just moronic, but clearly insane.
Ne yapacak?
It's a good thing that I abandoned that ridiculous plan before I even tried it.
Öldük ne yapacağız?
Instead, I spotted a ladder
Belki oradan gitmiyoruz.
way into the
Lan
mine from
boşuna
the
yolladı
opposite
bizi
side.
ya. Boşuna gittik. Oradan gitsek
It was a
böyle
long
olurmuş
way
sanki.
around, but that approach seemed more sensible at the time. Of course, being I had a problem with heights, that scaffolding scared the bejesus out of me. Climbing down that ladder required some caution,
Deniyor ya.
because even though I had a younger man's reflexes,
Her şeyi
no man can dodge a damn bullet while climbing down a rickety ladder.
herhalde başka bir şey olmadı.
I needed to make a leap of faith. I was determined not to give up.
Başardık.
That Sheriff Plummer seemed quite the despicable character. When the vigilantes discovered what the sheriff was up to, people were outraged. That 10,000 they put on his head would go a long way to helping me find a new Bob. And I had made it my mission to settle that score come hell or high water. But first, I would have to make a choice. Take the elevator or climb the ladder. I pick the more convenient and more dangerous route.
I will drop you down a mine shaft.
Plummer was a mad dog killer, and the people of Nevada City deserved better.
Nevada City? Well, I thought Plummer met his maker in Bannock, Montana.
Fazla unutmamışım.
Right, well, he was the sheriff of both places at one time or another, but that's neither here nor there. The point was, taking him down would save a lot of lives, including my own.
Boss geliyor sanki. Böyle bir şey. Ya boss dediğim ünlü bir adam. Bu oyuna göre. Bombaj. Neymiş lan bunlar? Henry Plummer. Plummer. Gel bakalım.
They're gonna bury you! This day is just getting worse and worse for you!
Henry Plummer was clearly unhinged,
Bombacı.
and I could see right away that this was going to take some doing.
Sakin. Bir canı var.
Oh, yes, you've had enough!
Çabuk gittim lan oraya.
I'm going all medieval on your ass! Come on, boys! Take this cocksucker out!
Neredesin lan? Başka kim var? Birazdan bir tanesi bitti. Biraz bir canı kalmış.
You today!
Diğer silah var. Şuna denk. Daha çok iyi.
Put in a dustpan to pick you up! Like shoot food!
Lan oynuyor. Öldü lan.
So that's how Henry Plummer died. Him and his crew were worth their weight in gold.
Sonra ne yapıyoruz?
And now, I was officially a bounty hunter.
Evet. Kontik devam edelim. Evet, bu bölüm bitti. Artık böyle yapıyorum çünkü devam etmiyor buraya. Evet, 6. En son orada kaldık. Yani ikinci bölüm. 2 bölüm çekeceğim bir bölüm.
So, did you finally go after that Hob feller?
Bu ne ya?
Well, I...
Şarkı duyuyor musun bilmiyorum ama güzel. Kovboy şarkıları. Hadi. Bugün bir de Assassin's Creed çekmeyi bekliyorum ama inşallah çekebilirsem vaktim olursa.
I dodged death many a time, and that night in Abilene was no different.
Başla.
I was there with the intention of finding that bastard Bob and collecting the bounty on John Wesley.
Dolduruyor. Bilmiyor lan.
I thought the Texas Rangers got hardened.
Yeah, that's what they want you to believe. It was cold in a witch's tit and a brass bra that night as I fought my way past his loyal compadres.
Yerli beklentileri.
To the very same saloon we're sitting in today. Look around and imagine this place painted in blood. Hardin was waiting for me, and
Ne oluyor lan?
wait, I'm jumping the gun here.
Şu adam.
Let me back up and give you some background on this sumbitch. He deserves that much.
Geriye sarıyor ya.
Don't you think so, Ben? John Wesley Hardin was a killer. By the end, he confessed to taking the lives of 42 men.
Oğlum çifte almasaydım.
He was a bona fide folk hero by then, and had amassed a gang of armed miscreants and other assorted thugs. He and his men set up camp outside of town, and I was hoping Bob was among them.
Shit, it's cold out here. I'm freezing my giblets off.
Ain't right, we gotta stay out here keeping watch like this. Ain't no bird stupid enough to go after Hart.
God damn it!
Shoot that son of a bitch!
They didn't ask why I was there. They knew. As most of them were wanted as well. I figured Hardin was here somewhere, but to get to him, I'd have to get past his gun hands. That was easier said than done, as most of them were as foolish and full of bravado as I was. I had to spill a lot of blood to find out Hardin wasn't in that camp. He was carousing in town with his closest friends. Hardin's boys apparently didn't want me to reach the Bull's Head.
Bu adam bence çok konuşuyor.
Some were hightailing it into town to inform their jefe of my unwelcomed presence.
Stop that son of a bitch!
Konuşuyor lan.
Let the boys know we got another long dog.
Bir şey daha aldım. Eşyalar geldi. Böyle daha kolay olmaz. Benim için.
I wondered if Bob was among them.
Değil mi? Daha varsa gelsin ya. Geleceği varsa geleceği de var da bu silah mı daha iyi? Şartlanmış mı? Yok ama. Nereden gideceğiz? Bulmuş lan adamı. Yazık. Şartlan mı acaba? Alsam mı? Yine yeri geldik. Ben yapayım mı? Yol olduğuna göre belki. Burası.
And I steeled myself for the fight ahead. For as good as I was, deep down I wondered if John Wesley wasn't just a little bit better.
Bir de sessiz ol. Tamam mı?
Before I could test my mettle against Hardin, however, I would first need to dispatch his cadre of hired killers. Most of these degenerates were beyond redemption, but John Wesley might have been a different story. I didn't learn until later that that night was in fact his birthday celebration.
Yakından izliyorum. İki atışlıyor.
I think I already mentioned that I found Hardin in this very saloon. Suffice it to say, nobody there was happy to see me. In fact, I felt a certain hostility. I was disappointed that neither Bob nor John Wesley were among the dead. But that was short-lived, as a moment later I was facing down the fastest gun in the West. I felt a bolt of adrenaline, or maybe that was fear. He was well known for his tricks, and I knew I'd need my own if I was ever to defeat him. No, wait! He didn't hit me then. I'm sure of it.
Ne diyorsun lan? Zaten ölüyoruz. Hadi ya, daha hızlı olmam lazım. Hadi. 93 yaptım. Hadi. Sen çek. Heh. Hadi. Nereye atıyor? Sen at ilk. Hadi la, onu biliyoruz ya. Allah, mermi geliyor. Lan mermi geliyor.
That man was faster than grease lightning. But being inebriated as he was, he didn't count his shots. And now, he was at my mercy.
So he didn't die?
No, I sent him to prison. Years later, after he was free, some restless avenger took his life. Shot him in the back in a saloon just like this one. Anybody up for another beer?
Ama ben videoyu yine
Ben?
bitireceğim burada arkadaşlar. Artık önümüzde birçok bölüm daha var. Neredeydik en son? Burayı bitirdik. Aa, var böyle. Neyse göstereyim. Evet arkadaşlar, videoyu burada bitiriyorum. Görüşmek üzere. Abone olmayı ve beğenmeyi unutmayınız. Hoşça kalın.